Okay, the title of our first chapter is Setting High Expectations. We recognise that it's crucial that teachers have high expectations, and the highest performing teachers we work with have. Some of them don't realise they have, but they have. What they do, well, they open bigger gaps. They see a target grade as a minimum to expect, and they go for a much higher challenge than is set by a piece of data. Data is just one way you can open that gap. But it's one thing for teachers to have high expectations. The crucial thing is that they transfer those high expectations to learners. And we, in the chapter, look at various different ways that teachers can be successful at doing that. One of those is the use of metaphor. It could be a metaphor as simple as the quality of biscuits to dipping in your tea. You know, Peter Kay's famous sketch of what makes the best biscuits. You know, your chocolate hobnob is your commando, the biscuit world, who wants to be dipped again. Or your rich tea, or what he calls one dip biscuits, that as soon as anything gets a bit too hot, they sort of give up. And we want a class full of kids who really want to be chocolate hobnobs. And so teachers' use of metaphor is one way of doing that. The brain is a muscle metaphor. Another metaphor has been very successful in their courses, the pit. Trying to convince learners by having a shared language of the pit is a place where we go to learn. If you find a piece of work you're doing initially too easy, then you're not in the pit, and I haven't planned the lesson as well as I should have done. But to go into the pit requires that you become comfortable with being stuck, with being confused, with feeling uncertain. But by working together, working with your classmates, you'll become much more comfortable and you will make more progress. And that's a fantastic skill to learn for any aspect of academic life and personal life, that if you want to achieve something, you have to go through those tough times. Then what we go on to do is look at how we can develop learner clarity in relation to things such as improving the quality of work, finding time to look back over your work, looking at your work with a critical eye to say, is that perfect? Is it the best I can do? Because if it isn't, learners should be trying to redraft it, do another version so that it can be even better. And then finally what we look at, and we pay a lot of homage here to Professor Carol Dweck's work on growth mindsets, we really want to encourage learners to have growth mindsets. So how we praise, how we set up our classroom environment, how we encourage learners to give their personal bests, how we get learners to celebrate their mistakes and not worry about when they've made those mistakes, the openness to feedback, that sort of culture of the best classrooms grow those mindsets. So this chapter, in essence, gets teachers to reflect on whether they have high expectations and how they can transfer those high expectations to learners really effectively.